Well, I'm going to say if I'm speaking to someone newer to this earthly existence than I am, um, and we're thinking about pursuing some sort of trajectory that involved creating things, living in the world of the arts. I know that I wouldn't, if music was streaming when I was in my teens, and I would never ever have ever been involved with making music. If right now, what music is to the general public, I would never ever have. So I wouldn't understand necessarily. I mean, again, now I would understand maybe with some kids now, as I think they are reconnecting to essential humanity in a way that our generation and subsequent generations for a little while avoided because we were coerced into avoiding it. I think there's a possibility that there's going to be some very exciting musical changes coming in the next 10 to 15 to 20 years. And so I don't know, it could be, I would just say dig in and engage as early as possible. I mean, the only reason I have any sort of functionality in what I do is I think because I was essentially trained from pre-puberty, so I think to do this kind of work starting early so that what you have to present or what you have to potentially say is as rich as possible, because it's connected to so much of your life experience and your development, so that the things that you communicate are so intertwined with the idea of representation, of artistic or creative representation, that it will just have a strong foundation and be more relevant to the audience. And also to think about, I think kids are going to be really good at this as well, but to think about, as I mentioned, I felt I had a relatively isolated childhood, so that one idea eventually and still of making songs and making records is that I know I have a community in the world, but I know it may not be, within 100 feet of here or 1,000 feet of here. It may exist forward in time or further away geographically, and that may be your community. And I think, maybe something that I could offer is the encouragement of knowing that no matter how strange and twisted your thoughts are and your emotions are, there are people like you, and that's been my drive in creating things, is to identify the connections in such a way that I can recognize them and somebody else can recognize them when we do feel potentially terminally alone, like we are in danger of self-extinction or madness, without an awareness of connection. So to strive, when you feel alone, to understand that that's the instigation for finding and or building the connection to the other human beings that are indeed a part of your community.